Hello, folks. Welcome back to the Slice, ladies and gentlemen. We are in time for Wimbledon, and my accent needs to stop right now. The guy's more Australian, but we're in England now. Not really, but Wimbledon is, and it's about to go down. And we're giving the Slice on the draw. So, does Federer have an easy draw? Some would say he does. He's got an easy route to the final, but there is one dark horse who could take him out early, and I'm going to let you know who that is. Also, is Nadal ready for grass? Is he on upset alert early? I'm going to let you know that as well. And finally, we're going to answer the question, does Federer's loss to Borna Coric in the Hala final affect his Wimbledon performance or being ready? I'm going to let you know that as well in this episode of The Slice. Welcome back. If you are new to The Slice, make sure you hit that subscribe button as we got lots of things coming at you from the Wimbledon booth. Here, this is now the Wimbledon booth, but we are obviously at Wimbledon season. The qualifying draw is happening right now. People are playing. I've seen some interesting matchups, but the main draw is out, and that's what we're really breaking down now. So there's a lot of big questions on this. One of the main things is that you might have seen that on the draw, Federer is kind of in the easier half of the draw. It's similar to, I would say, what Nadal's draw was at the French Open, where he doesn't have to play, obviously, Nadal because he's on the bottom half, which is interesting because Nadal's actually technically world number one now, but he's seeded number two at Wimbledon. I think that's because they take the rankings from like a few weeks before to make the actual seeds, and Federer was number one last week, but he lost in Halle, and then therefore he's second place in the world now by a few points. It's such a tight dog race. It's amazing to watch. But Federer's on the top, Nadal's on the bottom, but also Djokovic is on the bottom, like Del Potro's on the bottom. Kyrgios is on the bottom. There's like a few of the big names that aren't on the Federer side. So Federer fans are going, hey, sweet, easy route to the finals, no big deal. All we got to do is beat like Cilic and Dimitrov, who probably won't make it to the semis to even play Federer. But who is the man that could really hurt Federer? He's a Ukrainian by the name of Sergei Staikowski, and that name just brings chills to Federer fans' bones because if you all remember, in 2013, he took him out early in the tournament in a big upset victory, in a 5-set victory, where Federer was maybe not playing his best, but Sergei Staikowski played unreal and beat him, and it was shocking. It shocked the tennis world. It was right after Federer had won his 7th Grand Slam, or 7th Wimbledon, and he was going to break Pete Sampras' record. So Sergei Staikowski might meet Federer in like the 3rd round, I think, and that could be pretty crazy. And a lot of headlines are going to be written, a lot of heebie-jeebies are going to be pulled out of the closet, but I don't think Federer fans really have any cause for worry. But there's always cause for worry in every match. But Federer is playing really well right now on grass. He won Stuttgart, and then he made it to the final and just lost to Coric. I guess I can just answer that question now. Is the loss to Coric going to affect Federer at Wimbledon? I don't know. I'm not Federer, and we'll have to see, I guess. But I don't think Federer played super bad against Coric. I actually didn't watch the match live. I saw the highlights, though. Coric played unbelievably. Played a great match. And, it's a 3-set match. So Wimbledon's different in the fact, just like with Nadal on clay, he can lose in those Masters before to team or whatever. But on Roland Garros, it is a different story. And somebody has to go above and beyond crazy to beat one of these guys at these tournaments because it's 5 sets. So, if it's a 5-set against Borna Coric, Federer's probably coming back. He'll figure it out. His mental computer where he's locking in what's happening, what the other opponent's doing, would figure it out, and you got to put all your bets on Federer coming back in that match. So Wimbledon is a different story. Obviously, he's the king of Wimbledon, and he's won here so much that he has that much extra momentum in every single match for him, and his opponent has to do a million things right in order to win. So I don't think the loss to Coric is going to affect Federer at Wimbledon, but we'll have to wait and see in his first couple matches how he's playing. He'll always shake off any cobwebs, but he has had 2 good tournaments under his belt now, so he should be okay against Dusan Lajovic in the first round, who has been playing well, but he's kind of a grinder on clay, and that's his better surface. He's got a single-handed backhand. I don't think Federer should have any problems with him. And he also played him in the first round last year. And last year, I was thinking about this. I've heard down in the comment section, obviously, Federer, when I chirped Nadal having an easy draw in the French Open, everyone's like, well, Federer has them too. I said that. I said that he does too. Everyone has easy draws sometimes, but I also said no draw is actually easy, but it's just it could be worse. Federer's draw last year in Wimbledon got chirped as being easy because he won in 3 sets, but it was not. It was anything from easy. I've been thinking about that. He played Misha Zverev in the second round. Then he played Dimitrov. No, I don't know. In the third round, he played Zverev, and then he played Dimitrov, and then he played Raonic, and then he played Berdych, and then he played Cilic. Like, how is that an easy round? I don't know how he won all those in 3 sets. It's absolutely nuts. Those guys are all big hitters on grass. It's like the perfect scenario for an upset, but he won in 3 sets. This year seems to be a little bit easier, but that's never a good thing. But he did have a decently easy draw at the Australian, and he stepped up and just won all his matches. But it's interesting when these guys are such heavy favorites to win each of these matches, it puts way more pressure actually on him. Like when Federer said when Nadal went out at the French Open in 2009 when Federer was winning, I think Nadal went out in the quarterfinals or maybe in the 4th round. Federer was like every match after that was so much pressure. It felt like a final because it was like this was his opportunity to not have to play Nadal to win the French Open. So he's playing as like Monfils or like Del Potro, and then Soderling in the final who beat Nadal. And you're like, man, if I lose this and I wasn't even playing Nadal, because like he'd only been stopped by Nadal really before that at the French Open, or else he would have won it like 3 or 4 times. This pressure of being the favorite is a real thing, and these guys are so unbelievable, like Federer and Nadal, because they don't crack under it, and they've been able to keep their level up for so long, and that's why we love it. Anyways, Nadal, how's he looking on clay? We don't really know. I think he's doing some type of like charity event in somewhere that's a warm-up event for grass. He's always had trouble coming off of the clay onto grass, even though he's won Wimbledon twice. I'm putting him on upset alert in the 3rd round where he could possibly play Marco Cecchinato, where I'm getting his name right now, and he made a massive splash onto the scene at the French Open, making it to the semifinals, obviously. So Marco Cecchinato, the way he hits the ball, he's a left-hander, I think, right? I don't know. But he hits the ball huge, serves really well, huge forehand, just plays the game well, good at net, solid all-around player. I would put Nadal on upset alert against him. But you never know. But Federer or Nadal's had anything but success at Wimbledon for like the last 4 or 5 years. So I wouldn't put Matthew, if you're a Nadal fan, you got to hope, but it's sketchy time for Nadal fans, for sure at Wimbledon. But the draw, Djokovic is in the bottom half of the draw. You got to put a lot of emphasis. He's been looking pretty good on grass, I'd say, and he's getting better every single match. So he's gonna be doing well. Dimitrov, like I hope that he can have a good tournament, but he's been so inconsistent lately. Shapovalov has looked not good on grass at all. He did have some success at I forget the last Eastbourne, I think, but he lost in like the first round of balls at the grass tournaments. I don't know why that is. 'Cause he's got pretty long strokes, so maybe the ball bouncing low and coming quick at him isn't helping him, but his power is going to be well utilized on grass, and his serve is unreal. So we'll see what he can do at Wimbledon. He did win the junior Wimbledon, I think, so he's obviously can play on grass, but he just hasn't been playing well lately. Also, in other news, I met this coach. So my last video, if you haven't seen it, go watch the last video. It's on the ITF Pro Women's Tour, and I interview them up here on the process, and it's hilarious, and these interviews are awesome, and these girls are amazing players, so go watch it. But I also met this coach while I was there who knows some things about some players, and he gave me some really interesting inside scoops about some guys like Bernard Tomic and just different people around the tour who have been struggling recently but are trying to get back in, and about their mindsets, and how Tomic, he's like been so cocky and he lost his way, but he's actually trying to get back in it now. So I think Tomic lost, but he's actually a lucky loser in the main draw. So very interesting things. But I heard some crazy stories about guys on tour doing things. And it's, the tour is an interesting world. And I can't wait to learn more about it. That's all I'm going to say for now. But I got some connections now. You know who we are. You know who you are. Anyways, that is the slice, folks. We have an article coming out today by Brendan Decker from Canada on theslicetennis.com, breaking down the draw and bringing up the biggest dark horses for Wimbledon. So get on theslicetennis.com to check that out. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because if you don't hit it, you're going to become a worse tennis fan. And you don't want that, do ya? Thanks for watching, folks. This is The Slice. I really appreciate anyone watching this show. It's amazing. So if you love this stuff, head over to theslicetennis.com. We have lots of awesome articles there that can just waste more of your time thinking about tennis and not addressing the real problems in life.